Alright guys, we have done it! We have made it! We are done with Season 1. Almost. We've gotten to the end of Season 1. What's standing in our way? The Best Night Ever. Written by Amy King Rodgers. Alright Amy, let's see what you got. Episode 26, The Best Night Ever. The ponies are attending the Grand Galloping Gala, the biggest event of the year in Canterlot, which we have known about since Episode 3. And over the course of the 26 episode season, the 24 of which we've had from Episode 3 to the current episode, in and out, we've been, the show has been hinting at the fact that the characters are going to have this sort of gigantic thing at the end of the season called the Grand Galloping Gala. It will happen at the end of the season, and that's how it's going to work. So, what happens in this episode? Well, here's what actually does happen. The ponies each have their own expectations on what is sure to be the, as quoted here, as put in quotation marks, best night of the year, unquote. Twilight longs to spend quality time with Princess Celestia, as we finally learn about in this episode. We didn't learn about it in Ticketmaster because no one asked Twilight what she wanted out of it. If she went, what would she do? All she said was that dance would be nice. What else? Pinkie Pie just wants to party. Fluttershy can't wait to meet more woodland creatures. Rarity hopes to meet her prince, and Rainbow Dash wants to impress the Wonderbolts, as I said in the Episode 3 review all that time ago. Spike, on the other hand, just hopes that the six friends will be able to spend some time together, having fun. At the gala, each pony begins to realize that the night isn't quite living up to expectations. What happened? Well, the princess is simply too busy greeting guests to speak to Twilight. The Canterlot ponies look down their noses at Applejack's homemade desserts. The woodland critters are terrified of Fluttershy. Rarity's prince turns out to be a pompous fool, and Rainbow Dash can't get a word in edgewise with the Wonderbolts. As for poor Pinkie Pie, well, her attempts to liven up the party are certainly not appreciated. Here's the thing, though. It didn't start all too bad. Twilight rushes in to meet the princess, says, I want to have a conversation with you throughout this entire thing. That's the only thing I want to do. And she's like, alright, well, I'm free. Let's do this. And that's just what the princess is like. And Twilight's like, yes! And then you have Fluttershy just rushes into the garden and says, I hear something! Look at all this, like, flora! Look at all these, look at all these animals! Look at all these, oh god, look at all these plants! This is awesome! Oh, I think I hear something! I'm gonna rush off and try to see what that is. With the Applejack thing, sets up a car. No, actually, I should go with Rarity first. Rarity finds the prince, rushes after him. Well, sort of, then doesn't, just walks after him, and then completely rushes off after him. And then, of course, this back-to-back chain of things that happens. This little chain that happens in between two ponies. AJ sets up shop. A Wonderbolt comes by, buys a pie. Goes off. First sale of the night for AJ. Perfect. Later, another Wonderbolt comes in, knocks into the first Wonderbolt. The second Wonderbolt talks about how the first Wonderbolt is actually named Soren. Yes, the first time is actually the first time in history that a Wonderbolt has been given a name. And it's Soren. Of all things, it is Soren. So, yeah, Soren. I don't know if the second pony got a name yet, but you guys know her. At this point, we knew her as Leader Pony, but now we know her as Spitfire. So Spitfire comes in, tries to talk to Soren, but he doesn't realize that the pie's in his mouth, so the pie drops. And then Rainbow Dash swoops in, catches the pie, saves the day, and then Spitfire realizes, you know what? You look familiar. You're the pony that saved our lives and won the Best Young Flyers competition in Cloudsdale. She finally gets her name in Rainbow Dash, and they say, you know what? You're cool. You want to hang out with us in the VIP lounge? Okay, alright. Boom! Explosion! Mind explosion is amazing! And, so yeah, AJ basically helps Dash. Now, what about Pinkie? Well, she does the Jolly Good Fellow, at the Grand Galloping Gala, at the Grand Galloping Gala song. And she's like, this is amazing, I love the dance floor, love everything. By the way, Octavia, her first appearance in the show. And, I did cover that, I'm sorry. I don't know if I covered DJ Pony's, I don't know if I covered Vinyl's appearance in episode 14. I don't know. But anyway, she's having a good time, but then the party guests are just like, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, never mind. But then at that point, that's when the tides turn. AJ doesn't get another sale. Dash can't talk to the Wonderbolts. They're getting pulled aside a lot. After Rarity finally meets her Prince Blue Blood, he acts like a total snob and just disses Rarity all the time. And Twilight, well, she's trying to talk to the princess, but she's pretty much busy greeting every single guest, which is weird. But, that happens. And then they just say, you know what? This isn't how, and then we see that it's still not going as good for anyone. Oh, and Fluttershy, apparently, yeah, they're scared of her. And that little whistle, a farmer pony. A lot of things happen, and it just continues on the fact, you know what? They're gonna make this the best night ever. We don't know how Twilight goes, but everyone else just tries to like almost force their way. They try to do something completely different. Twilight doesn't really get anything in. Dash just tries to budge in and do stuff, all this other stuff. AJ tries to force sales. Rarity finally gets, but she gets a sale from Rarity, but Blue Blood won't give the money to AJ, and Rarity's gonna have to do it, but AJ's like, you know what, that's free. It's crazy, and then Fluttershy with all her traps and stuff. But then it's all compilated in the final song of the episode, of course, Grand Galloping Gala, where everyone's like, this is what we're going to do. The actual At the Gala song, which I completely missed in this episode. The third song of the episode is the Pony Pokey, where basically we get an entire review of what's happening. Twilight's actually trying to do the handshakes with the princess and the guests, but she's apparently getting clout in her hands, in her hoof. So, bad thing for Twilight. If I can go back to the lyrics here, who was doing what when? AJ tries to, get ponies to notice her by kicking the apples off the cart and then picking them up like, sorry about my apples there. Oh, by the way, you want to buy some? No. What else? Dash tries to save a cup and also tries to save some guy. No one notices when she saves the dude, but they do notice when she catches the cup. And, they get pulled away. So, no talking. Rarity, I think there was a cloak thing that happened, that, like a spilled drink or whatever, and then it's like, the door needs to be opened, so Rarity insists that Blue Blood does it, but Blue Blood insists that Rarity does it, back and forth until Rarity has to do it, and then hits her on the way out. The door hits her on the way out, basically. And then, as Fluttershy's still trying to catch these animals, it's not working. It isn't working at all. And then Pinkie isn't working at all either with her stuff. But then, the six friends finally meet up again in the midst of a disaster of their own creation. Here's what happened. So here's what happens, really. Pinkie tries to do a stage dive, but at the same time, here comes AJ with a gigantic apple cake. Now she's actually getting into the actual, party itself, and she's actually trying to get the attention of everyone else. All the party guests say, I got all this stuff because everyone's getting the buffet, thing. So, hey, get this, not the buffet. Grab, don't go to the buffet, get this. Here comes Pinkie Pie, stage dive, boom, onto the cart, launching the cake up in the air. In comes Rarity and Blue Blood. Blue Blood shields himself with Rarity, and the cake, bam, right into Rarity. But then her lid blows. She gets she's afraid to get dirty because apparently he just got himself groomed. She shakes some cake off to Blue Blood, who just backs up into a gigantic statue that starts to fall, but Ash realizes that this is now her chance. She catches it just barely, but can't balance it, so she knocks everything down, and the pillars just get destroyed around it, and it's just just complete disaster. In comes Twilight, and Celestia just oh crap, what just happened? At least it can't get any worse, right? Door busts open, Fluttershy really angry, animals rushing in. You're going to love me! Freaking, Sparta! So, anyway, yeah, it got worse. As Celestia says, run. They all get out of there, get to Pony Joe's donut shop, which is where Spike is. He's hanging out there while the girls are having their fiasco. And, they come in. After fleeing the scene, they rendezvous with Spike, who was already at the local donut shop, where Spike says that he was right all along. If they had just hung out together, they would have had fun. Princess Celestia then joins them and points out that the gala is always terribly boring, but at least this year the 6 ponies made it interesting. And to finish it off, the final friendship lesson of Season 1. Dear Princess Celestia, friends have a way of making even the worst of times into something pretty great. Even the best night ever. Thank you so much, Amy, for that season finale. That is the episode, and that is Season 1. What do I think of Season 1 as a whole? Well, actually, what do I think of episode 26, and what do I think of Season 1 as a whole? First, episode 26 was really fun and enjoyable. Again, I have given out this grade before, but I'm going to give it out again. An 8.7 out of 10. That's really good. So, congratulations, Amy, on getting that there. And great job with the season finale. For Season 1 as a whole, this was really fun. And, if I had to put it on okay, this is first, this is second, this is third. Season 1, right now, compared to Seasons 2 and 3, is basically, in second place. Because the other two seasons are tied for first. So, or technically that would put Season 1 at third, so, whatever. It was good as a whole, but it wasn't as fun and enjoyable as Season 2 and 3, and possibly even 4, came out as. Those seasons were hilarious and fun. Season 1, a great starter season, great starter episodes for the show, but it's just it's not all that enjoyable, but it was pretty hilarious. There were the episodes, as I said before, that were, I could have pointed out were not my favorite. There were the episodes that I could say were my favorite. And of course there were by the end. And that's it. That is Season 1. So again, let me know what you guys think of this episode and Season 1 as a whole in the comments of this video below. But that is it for the recording part of tonight. I now need to upload it tonight. And up next, Season 2 and Episode 1 of Season 2, Episode 27 overall, The Return of Harmony, Part 1, with Discord. Yeah, first Nightmare Moon, aka Tabitha St. Germain, and now Discord, aka John Delancey. Let's see how he does for this season opener. I'll see you guys for Season 2. Later, guys.